get into the whole fear mongering thing, right? And you start to take away rights and infringe upon people's rights. And for people who want to feel safe, they give up their rights to feel safe.
Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
And I'm Dontavius.
Let's pull the pin.
All right, let's pull it already. What are we going to throw out on the table today?
Let's talk about this Pfizer company that has the COVID vaccine. And they're saying it's 95% effective, positive effectiveness.
The COVID vaccine. You mean the one that our president said would be out quickly before the election, around the election? That one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Same one. And you said 95%.
Yeah, 95% effective.
All right.
Yeah.
And I guess the question we might as well address right off the bat. Are you going to get it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely
what about you?
Not.
What? What about you, Jim?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I quit the flu vaccine long years ago.
This is not the flu vaccine, though. We're talking about the COVID.
I don't care. I know that whatever they're going to put in my body is probably worse than I'm going to catch.
Jesus.
I'm not going full conspiracy. Like I'm not saying they're going to put a chip in the vaccine while they're putting it in me, but no.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I believe in that. But I personally believe, of Christian faith, that everything that we need to cure any ailments in the body is here on Earth. So natural herbs and plants, whatever, it can heal the body. Or the body can repair itself. That's what I believe in. So, I don't trust it. I'm not getting it.
Are you going to share those herbs and spices with us
not
about COVID?
Not those kind of herbs. but I like it, Dante, because I agree the same thing. There used to be a saying, they said that your body can produce more chemicals than any pharmacy ever can make. Mm-hmm. I don't know how true it is, or it's just a saying. And I don't know why Mr. James is frozen.
Sorry,
there he is.
Guys. I hit a button.
You hit a button?
Yeah, it was my thing was hovering over the stop video, and I just happened to hit the mouse pad. Sorry about that.
No shortage of surprises. You need another vaccine for that. I'm not sure what.
There's no cure for that one, man.
No, not even.
Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but if the government says that they're gonna mandate that we have to, they did it what they used to do with the flu shot. You had to get the flu shot, remember, or was that just the military?
That was most of the military and some hospital workers, things like that. But let me ask this first. I know Americans and even abroad, people are creative, we're innovative, we do things. Is the quickness and the speed of this really in consideration? I mean, is that something you should debate? Like people out there saying, oh, I'm not going to get it because maybe it came out too fast. Is that the legitimate debate? Or do you think we have enough faith in our scientists and all that, regardless of what you feel about Big Pharma?
I think that's a legitimate debate because I'll apply that to when people talk about new technology that comes out. There's always going to be glitches. That's probably why they're just using the 95% effectiveness. Ratio there. So it's like when the new software comes out, there's always glitches. And some people say, I'm not going to get the newest technology. I'm just going to wait a year or so, and then I'm going to get it because they're going to work out all the glitches. I'm not saying that you guys are going to wait a year or so, to get your shot or anything like that. But
hey. Well, we're counting on people like you so that less people have the virus and we don't have to worry about it. So
that's pretty much where I'm at. If everybody else that wants the vaccine gets the vaccine, I don't see why I need to get the vaccine. If it works, they should be good.
Oh, hold up.
No work.
Is this something you should get before you get COVID, or if you have COVID?
Well, the
I would
vaccine is to
assume you
prevent
get
it,
it
right?
before.
Oh, okay. My bad. I like to retract my statement.
Yeah, if everybody, if they believe in it, it's 95% effective, and you got the vaccine, you should have nothing to worry about. That's
Oh,
my
okay.
personal belief.
So let's consider this, Mike. Let's go on your premise that these companies, drug companies, are stellar. You know, I mean, well, actually, you probably didn't agree with that, but let's say they're stellar, highest, you know, scientists
Stellar.
we could find in the world.
My
You know,
premise.
they're amazing.
That's not my premise. I'm supposed to do that to you, man.
I could have sworn that's what you said, that you trusted these scientists and you're going to get the vaccine. But so let's go on that premise. Let's compare it to the flu. Now, I'm not comparing COVID to the flu. I'm comparing the process. We have a flu vaccine, right? In fact, there's several versions of them because they mutate, right? Isn't that how it works? Something like that. And the flu vaccine didn't come out right away. It didn't come out quick. It took a while for that to come out. And yet the flu vaccine is how effective?
I don't know. I don't have the numbers on that.
I can look the numbers up, but I'm gonna tell you right now that we still have 20 to 80,000 people a year dying from the flu. Yeah. So either those are all people not taking it, or it's really not that effective.
Yeah. Now I will say that I had some, what would you call it? Some strain of the flu in the past 10 years. I probably had it twice, and you know. Like Morpheus and Matrix said, I'm still here.
I'm looking up how long it takes to make a vaccine.
Oh, yeah. So you had it in February. Yep. Wow. I had it in February when I thought it was the COVID. And let's be real, I got tested at the VA. So in all honesty, it could have been COVID. And they could have just said, oh, he's got something. Let's call it the flu. I mean, that's how the VA works. So I don't even know, what I really had. And they did do the swab up the nose, which is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you could have had it because in February, they didn't know what they know now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they had reportings going, I think, back to December. They think China had it going on in December before.
Yeah. Oh, you're on one of those people that said it's a China virus?
It is a China virus. Yeah. It says here the flu vaccine was effective. Okay, this is 2012, though. I'm not a fan of this whole Google search thing, but just to give you a rough estimate, it says 60% of the time the population that benefited the most were HIV adults. What? So HIV adults? Like,
hey, Jim, you know we're recording, right?
Yeah, I'm not even sure these stats. I'm going to look at something different here. It says right here, CDC morbidity and mortality weekly report, the current influenza vaccine has been 45% affected overall 2019 and 20. And then it goes into A and B. It's been 50% against B, 37 against A. Okay, so consider that, the flu.
Those two together don't match the coronavirus vaccine.
So right there on that premise alone, either we have the most amazing biologists, scientists, I don't even know who these people are, virologists, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So we have the most amazing ones, or we're being sold a can of garbage and they're going to just pump a whole bunch of stuff in our bodies.
I don't know, man. I'm like, you said 37 and 45, I think it was.
How many people you got coming out that closet?
Who's that?
You.
That's damn, G. You had to tell me you were here. All right, brother. So I didn't even see it.
So in reality, you're telling me either this is a really amazing stunt that these guys are pulling off, or they're filling us with BS. And I'm going to lean clearly BS because I don't trust Big Pharma as it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I don't know. Do you trust the 37 and the 45% you just mentioned?
No. And to top it off, Mike, you just said that you got to stop that. You just I totally lost my whole train of thought. Let's rewind and see what you just said so I can figure out what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness.
I thought somebody was coming out the closet again when you started laughing.
I got to keep looking over your shoulder because I don't know how many people coming out of that closet there. But so you said you're not going to take it. You don't trust it.
No.
at all. So
No,
Without, I mean, without
well,
doing any research. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, D. Go ahead, man.
Oh, without doing any research, I'm interested in how many vaccines has Pfizer, you know, been a part of. How many vaccines have they, how many trials have they run of other vaccines? You know what I mean? It's just the first.
Right.
well, let's
From what I know of Pfizer, or what I if I remember correctly, they make I can't remember if it's like a Viagra type medicine, or is it like a medicine for heart problems or whatever. But I'm interested in
okay.
what, how long have they been in this area? Yeah, how long have they been in this area? 'Cause, that's a huge question. I heard like Bill Gates got into kind of dabbled into the whole coronavirus vaccine, and
Bill Gates
that's not
also
your
trying to
area
put
expertise.
chips in kids.
Yeah, so I don't trust it. If it's not your area of expertise, I don't see why you would be involved in it.
Well, I'm going
I
to
don't
throw
know.
this out there just to stir it up a little bit, and I'm sure Dontavius will agree with me, and Michael just disagree on purpose. But look at the industry itself. See, and was always my big argument, when they talk about the anti-vaxxers and all this stuff. I mean, here's a company that creates this chemical stuff which has virus in it, and if you ever read the ingredients, it's scary as hell what they're putting in your body. And they're putting it in your body. And in some cases, like the flu shot we spoke to earlier, it's mandatory. And yet they are immune, immune from lawsuits. So they have to dominate the market on this, make it mandatory, make billions of dollars. And yet if they screw up, you can't sue them. You can file a complaint, but you can't sue them. That is enough to scare me that a 95% vaccine, for what Mike said, I remember what Mike said earlier, they don't even have all the information on this coronavirus. And you're telling me it's 95% effective,
Right.
and you can't even get the flu 95% effective?
Yep.
Done. Not having it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, bless you,
Thank
Corona. Get it quick, Pfizer, get him the vaccine. So what do you think about this? Because I heard there's some uprising in some of these other countries already, and even Denmark, our model country of all things good, is talking about mandatory vaccines.
I don't think that's going to work. I don't think, no.
Well, other than being against,
you don't think it's going to work here?
No,
or around the world?
Absolutely. Well, here, I can only speak of here. Around the world, they're more liberal, if you will. I think they're more liberal. They'll just go. You'll have some uprisings like Jim is talking about in Denmark, Ireland, and places like that. But for the most part, I think they'll just go with the flow.
Well, here's a good question, because just like the flu shot, okay, the flu shot is not mandatory. And from what I understand, our Constitution protects us from the government doing things like that, making it mandatory. But you see how they made their way around that.
Yeah.
If you want this job, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
So you can obviously see that's going to happen here, right?
Yeah, and it can happen also if they do some executive order saying it's mandated because of national security.
I still think our Constitution will protect us from that. I don't think they can mandate putting stuff in people's bodies.
If you want to really, I think that's a topic for another show, the U.S. Constitution. Is there really such a thing anymore? Right?
Sure.
And I've done, Jim, I was a diehard constitutionalist, some years ago. So I don't believe like I used to. And I could justify why. But that's another show.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do say, like, if you're looking at Europe, they'll just go with the flow for the most part. I think 95% will go with it, but you'll have those uprising 5. Let's even elevate it to like 10% maybe. But here in the U.S., nah, I don't think. I think it's going to be just like it is now, and it will go to, this is going to sound bad, but more of the middle class jobs. Then you're going to have that, well, if you want this job, you have to get this shot, this vaccine. It's a part of the in processing, mandated.
So let me jump to the coronavirus for a second, because I also see that we have a huge, I don't know if it's a fear thing going on, but there's apparently spikes in COVID all across the world again, which maybe proven masks aren't really working that well and social testing. But anyways, so do you think these are real spikes? Because apparently the death rate isn't going up any higher.
You notice how no one's talking about that?
Only when it's convenient, when it's a small town and it's got a lot of people, they'll talk, oh, the death rate in this town. But I'm saying, you think this is a hoax, a facade, because they're coming out with the vaccine to push this? Because
I don't know. I don't.
Pfizer gets paid for every vaccine.
I don't know why.
Go ahead, Dontavius.
I don't know why people would be surprised from the beginning, way, kind of earlier in the year, going towards springtime when they were talking about all this, and just, I guess common sense of a virus, or some viruses. When it goes towards wintertime, it's gonna get worse. And towards the summer, the numbers are gonna die down, and towards the wintertime, it's gonna pick back up. So I think we're on track with what was said earlier in the year. I don't know why that would catch people by surprise.
Well, Mike, I know you're a statistic guy, so let me ask you this.
I love it, man.
So let me ask you this. How many yards did no, never mind. What are I can't seem to find it. Maybe there's some smart people out there watching. Where are the statistics for the flu deaths and the regular deaths? And where are these statistics? Because all I hear about, obviously they're not going up, but all I hear about is COVID deaths. I want to know where we sit on the actual deaths that would have happened without COVID versus how many more are happening with COVID.
CDC.
I want to see this stuff.
CDC.
That you saying they have the actual statistics?
Yep.
For regular deaths?
Yeah. Well, regular. You're talking about flu, right?
No, I'm talking about just heart attack. I'm talking about car accident death. All that stuff. Because you understand what happened with the original phase. If somebody died of a heart attack, it went under COVID because they get paid for that.
Yeah, the guy who got hit by a bus, he died of COVID.
Right, because the virus was around him. It was hovering over him, and he didn't have a mask on. So clearly, he caught it from the bus.
Yeah, he was asymptomatic, had COVID.
Yes, and they took his temperature. They took his temperature. He wore a mask, and somehow he still skirted the system and got the COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you think, Dontavius? You're the conspiracy guy. You think the government and all them are hyping us up for fear so that when they push this vaccine, we're willingly going to take it?
Yeah, I actually do. That's right along my line of thinking.
No. What are you basing that on?
Shoot, man. It's like, for example, way back when in 9/11, right? 9/11 happened. You hype up, or you get into the whole fear mongering thing, right? And you start to take away rights and infringe upon people's rights. And for people who want to feel safe, they give up their rights to feel safe. So I think we're getting, I don't know where this is going to go, but I believe the government is like, I want to infringe on their rights. How do we do that? Let's pump up the numbers. Let's make it, even with all this information out there that the hospitals are inflating numbers, the government no one's coming out to say like, hey, they're pumping up the numbers. It's just like, hey, Corona's so terrible. Now we're having this debate about the vaccine being mandatory. Well, maybe that's where it's going. Why else put the fear out there to make the vaccine coronavirus so fearful, just to make the vaccine, if I feel, hey, it's not that bad, I'm gonna survive, then I don't really need a vaccine, right? The flu shot, there's a vaccine for the flu shot, but I'm not in fear of my life as much of the flu, so okay, I'll take my chances, I guess, right? But if someone's just constantly in my ear, everything I read, coronavirus is so terrible, oh my gosh, I need to go and get the vaccine, and now it's mandatory. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight it because it's so terrible. Like I need it, if that makes sense.
It does, but how do you feel about car insurance?
I want to say it's a scam because you're paying every month and there's no guarantee you're ever going to need it in your life. But
or get it if you need it.
Well, like you're ever going to use it. But in that one day, you just don't have it for whatever, and something happens, and now, dang, I wish I had it. You know what I mean?
Can I
So
share on
couldn't you
that?
say the same thing about the vaccine?
You could say that, but if it's a 90, I don't know, was it like a 99%, whatever, 90% survival rate, whatever? You could say that, but I don't feel like I would necessarily die. I
I
feel
think
like I'm pretty healthy.
that comparison's flawed, Mike, because number one,
Right.
you have a higher percentage, a higher chance of getting into a car accident, even dying in a car accident, than you do dying of COVID. So there's a higher chance of that percentage wise, period. And number two, car insurance is mandatory. Why is it mandatory? It's mandatory because people can't put the money aside for when they do get into an accident. That's why it's mandatory. It's
So
mandatory to
okay,
protect other people more than just you. Because
okay,
if it
but
was me and my car got wrecked, I just buy a new car,
okay,
right? So
right,
isn't that why
okay,
we have car insurance for other people?
right. So 99% survival rate, 1%, 330 million people, 1% of that is, yeah, we all know the number, right?
No, I'm not good at
So
math. Can you do the
yeah, I
math for me,
know.
Mike?
Shut up. 30 million, 30, 33 million. Am I right? Nobody
I,
knows. Okay.
This is not an educational show, Mike.
Yeah, no, 3 million.
Google it.
3.3 million, something like that. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought. But no, you're talking about 3.3 million people. And trust me, I know it's a lot less. If you really go by the COVID survival rate, all right, it'll be 330 million people in the country. It's going to be probably about 2 million people. But they're talking about those 2 million people, protecting those 2 million people, making their survival rate go up. So that's why they're going to make COVID mandatory, a COVID vaccine mandatory. So my thing is, it's just like car insurance to me. I've been driving my adult life 30 years, 30 plus years, never got into an accident, especially where it was my fault, right? But I always had to have insurance. So it's the same argument to me, you know? And I'm like, okay, but I'm still not taking the damn vaccine. But that's beside the point.
Well, so let's look at the real problem though. Like just like Dontavia, I'm gonna tie the both of them together for you because like Dontavius is saying he don't trust them, and you're talking about all these numbers and things. So you're basing that off that number that they're giving you, 99%, whatever.
Right,
Are they
right,
giving us
exactly.
the right information though? Are we really getting the right information? So how are we supposed to make an educated guess if we can't even trust the information we're getting?
Yeah, but we don't make an educated guess on insurance. It's just mandatory, and you
That's
go
not
and
true.
get your
See,
insurance.
that is not true because it's
What's not true?
mandatory. Because it's mandatory, people get it. And there are still people who don't get it. So if
Right,
you were
but
to make insurance optional, then you would know how many people would get it regardless of the numbers. How many people you
okay, no, no,
think
no,
would
no,
get
no.
it?
No, I get you, and you're absolutely right. But my thing is, I don't hear people complaining about having
Well,
to have
no, they
auto
do.
insurance.
They do
So, well,
complain about it. That's
No,
why
people
people don't
complain
have it.
about the price of it.
yeah, but they don't complain about having to get it. Is what I'm
There are
saying.
plenty of people. A lady who ran over my mailbox didn't have insurance. Why didn't she have insurance? It's mandatory. She didn't
Okay,
because she didn't want it.
Mm.
okay, but what I'm saying, well, did she tell you that, Jim?
Did she? Well, the policeman told me she didn't have it. She didn't tell me what that she didn't want it, but I have to assume. Well, hey, wait. This is why.
We choose truth over facts.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man.
So
Bernie said it best.
Bernie, that's Biden,
Oh shoot. Okay.
the other old white guy. So I guess the same comparison. I made this comparison, because Tavius brought up 9/11. I used to work at TSA, and I made the same comparison. I can guarantee you, if you go to every airport and you make one terminal completely TSA free, fly at your own risk, I guarantee you will get a large chunk of people going there. A lot of people will say, this is bull. It's not worth my risk. My convenience is more important. I guarantee you.
I doubt it.
I guarantee you.
We can't prove it, but I'm gonna have to disagree. And this is not one of my disagreeing because Jim said it, but I but I
You're
have to
too
disagree
common.
with that one.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe more Americans are willing to give up their liberty for safety, perceived safety.
You know what?
That's where I was going with that statement earlier.
Yeah, in all fairness, you know what, Mike? I will retract that. I believe that would have been true, but I don't think it's true anymore. So fair enough. I think society has changed, and this is a perfect example. The lockdowns and the COVID has proven to me that more people are willing. I mean, when you're pepper spraying people because they're not wearing a mask in an open park, like 30 feet from you, yeah, there's something wrong with society.
Yeah.
So you think people are starting to take a stand?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think they're giving in too easy. They're giving up their liberties for that security or that sense of security so much that they're actually attacking people who aren't giving up their liberties.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
We all agree.
Too many cases. Yeah. And we all agree. Now, this is a show for you. We all agree. And Jim and I had 2 retractions.
2?
One each.
Well, mine weren't really retractions.
Yeah, you retracted.
To make you feel better.
Okay.
About your retractions.
Let me have the moment. Let me have the moment, Jim. I swear, I tell you.
Well, that might be a good place to end this and move into our favorite segment. Pull the pin already, named after the show, where we bring you something that really annoys us in society today. And I am definitely waiting to hear what Mike's got to say.
This is a hard one, Jim, and you know what I've been going through these last couple of weeks here, and this is truly near and dear to my heart. But when doctors prescribe medication and you go to another specialist, let's say, I'm trying not to give too much information here. You go to a specialist and they say, well, why did they prescribe that? Let's say a muscle relaxer. Why did they prescribe you a muscle relaxer? Because that's not the issue you're having. And it really, going back to that trust in government, trust in our medical professionals, and yeah, sometimes I just want to pull the pin on it. One group of people out here that I just don't trust, and that's politicians. But after the last couple of weeks, what I've been dealing with a family member, I would say doctors are coming real close.
I don't know why this is a surprise to you. Because just like we talked about, who do you think teaches doctors about prescriptions? They don't do holistic methods for a reason, because they go to school and they don't get taught that. It's all pushing drugs. And I can tell you some stories I'm not going to do right now because we're trying to get this show over with. But I can tell you stories about doctors just telling them my neck hurts and they're trying to give me, Vicodin, or I'm like, no, that's not what I'm asking for.
Right.
So, yes, I agree with you, Mike. We could definitely pull the pin on that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and go next, Dontavius, give you some time just in case you weren't prepared. I'm going to pull the pin in my favorite place. It's been a while since I've been there. It's been a while. I'm going back to the restroom. This time I'm going to go back to the sink. I don't know if you've experienced this or why someone even created this, but if you've ever encountered those push button sinks, I get it. They don't want people to waste water. I get it. But you have to push the button. And there's this COVID actually brought out some really interesting things where they tell you got to hum this song, you got to wash this way. You find me a push button sink that lasts as long as that song. So clearly the engineers that created the push button did not consider how long you're supposed to be washing your hands, because it comes on, you get your hands under there and then it goes right off. And now you got what? You got to put your hand on there, or you got to dirty your elbow, or I'm done with it, guy. I'm done. The motion ones, cool. But sometimes they don't work either because they don't even recognize me. I feel invisible. But I'm done with it. Find a solution, guys. You're smart. Find a solution.
Yeah. Well, these were created before COVID, so.
Right,
yeah.
But the standard was still the same.
Yeah,
it was still the same. Washing the hands still scientifically. Oh, look. All right, D, what do you got?
Not much. I want to pull the pin on fashion, I guess. Is that possible? I can do that.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
I want to pull the pin on skinny jeans on men. I hate it. Stop it.
We crossed that one off.
I grew up in an era where we wore baggy jeans. It was baggy jeans, baggy clothes. It was loose fitting. Then you get kind of transitioned to tailor fitting, but it wasn't tight, you know. But now these guys are wearing the skinny jeans, and then you sag them, and you got rips in them. I don't understand it. I hate it. I think it's stupid. It's not fashion. It's, in my opinion, it shouldn't be trendy. I'm at that age now where I'm in my early 30s, but I crossed the other side now. Now I can see why it's annoying. And pull your pants up. It never used to bother me in my 20s, but I hit the 30s and that's stupid. You need to pull your pants up.
Okay. So let me get this right. You don't pull your pants up. Dontavius is pulling the pin. Got it.
And this is, I think, something we all agree on again.
I hate it, man.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Awesome. Well, let me
ask a question.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Let's extend the show.
No, just a couple of seconds, Jim. I'm sorry.
All right.
That's a good topic right there. The saggy pants. Dontavius, I know you say you're just crossing over now in your early 30s, but is it the kids who do it more that gets to you, or people your own age or older?
Good question. I think the kids, I think, you know, hey man, you look bad doing it, but I think the older adults that still do it, it's like it's even worse. Like you just look like you're trying to fit in. As an adult, you just look stupid.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you agree with me.
So can't find myself in this baggy pants argument. I don't know what it is. I don't know this or the pants below the butt. I mean, I can tell you it annoys me, but you know, it's culture. I can't do that. So we're going to end on that. And that is all the time we have for this episode, unless Mike cuts us off again and interrupts us. If not, we hope you enjoy what we have, and we hope you come back for next time. And until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.